Okay, think about those moments when you're somewhere new, maybe traveling, and you're just completely turned around. You need directions.
We've all been there.
Or, flip side, someone comes up to you looking totally lost, asking for help. And, why do some people just jump right in, super confident, while others kind of freeze?
Yeah, it's a really common scenario, isn't it? And it sort of touches on something interesting, how a simple task like giving directions needs, well, practical skills, but also the right mindset.
Exactly.
Okay.
So today we're diving into that. How to give clear, confident directions in English. It's just such a useful skill, whether you're navigating a new city or, just helping someone find the post office down the street.
Definitely. Super practical.
And for you, our listener, we know you want to get up to speed quickly, get the real core info. So we've done a deep dive into an English language learning podcast episode specifically about this. Our mission really is to pull out the best bits, the most effective strategies, the key phrases, so you can feel more equipped and confident next time someone asks you, excuse me, where is?
Yeah, the goal is simple, actionable stuff you can use straight away based on what that podcast episode recommended. Simple, but effective techniques.
Okay, so let's kick off with maybe the most basic thing they mentioned, but it's fundamental. Using simple verbs like go, turn, walk. Why is that simplicity so important here?
Well, it's really about clarity, isn't it? Especially if the person asking maybe isn't fluent in English, or they're just feeling a bit stressed because they're lost. Using simple verbs, it just reduces the mental effort needed to understand. Less chance of confusion, easier to follow. It lowers the, cognitive load.
Right. Keep it simple so their brain doesn't have to work so hard processing the language and the directions.
Exactly.
Which kind of leads perfectly into this story they shared, getting lost in Bangkok for like 20 minutes, all because someone just said, go straight.
Oh, yeah, I remember that anecdote. It really highlights the problem, doesn't it? Go straight feels simple, but on its own, it's often, well, pretty useless.
So how do we fix that? How do we make go straight actually helpful?
The key, it seems, is adding that extra bit of information. The podcast suggested quantifying it.
Quantifying? Like
giving a distance, go straight for 2 blocks, or maybe a time walk straight for about 5 minutes. Something concrete.
Okay. So you give them a marker, something to measure against.
Precisely. It provides a frame. Instead of just this vague, maybe endless straight, you're giving them a point where they should expect something else or check again. 2 blocks, 5 minutes, they can track that.
Makes sense. Okay, another big tip was using landmarks. You'll see a big red building on your right. How does that help people kind of picture the route?
Landmarks are like anchors, really. They take the directions from being just abstract words and ground them in the physical world.
Right.
It makes it much easier to build a mental map. A big red building or the big supermarket is way easier to spot and remember than, say, the 3rd intersection.
Yeah, it's more visual. It gives you something specific to look out for. And then to be even more specific about where things are, they talked about prepositions, useful little phrases like next to, across from, behind.
Yes. These are so important for showing the relationship between things. Instead of just saying, the library is over there, you can say the library is next to the bank or across from the park.
It just paints a clearer picture.
Exactly. You're essentially building that verbal map for them piece by piece.
And apparently Jack, one of the podcast hosts, keeps a little list of these key phrases on his phone, like a go straight, turn left, it's on your right, it's near, whatever.
That's actually a pretty smart idea. Having those ready to go, it probably reduces that, panic moment, right?
Yeah.
For both people involved.
Totally. Just having a few reliable phrases means you're not inventing everything from scratch under pressure.
Yeah, lowers the stress.
And it's not just about the words, is it? They also talked about the feeling you get when you do successfully help someone. Jack mentioned giving directions in a mall and just feeling, good about it.
That positive feedback loop is really powerful, I think. Successfully helping someone, even in a small way, it builds your confidence.
Yeah.
It shows you can use English effectively in the real world.
Yeah, little confidence boost.
And that encourages you to keep learning, keep trying.
They also brought up mindset. Like shifting your focus away from worrying about making mistakes and focusing more on the fact that you're just trying to help someone out. That most people really appreciate the effort, even if it's not, perfectly phrased.
That's a great point. Psychologically, when you focus on helping someone else, you often become less self-conscious about your own performance.
Right.
Your attention is external on their need, not internal, worrying about grammar mistakes.
Which ties into their next suggestion, practice. They recommended role-playing with friends, like, excuse me, where is the nearest ATM?
And the other person practices, go straight, then take the second right. The ATM is next to the bakery, something like that.
Yeah, just running through it.
It's such a valuable thing to do.
Yeah.
Low pressure.
Yeah.
You can try out phrases, see where you hesitate, get comfortable before you actually stopped on the street.
Definitely makes sense. And they connected all this back to the bigger picture of language learning framing, giving directions as like a baby step.
A small victory.
Yeah, exactly. A small win on that journey. And they use this nice analogy like watering a tree, small, consistent efforts add up.
That perspective is so key, I think. Yeah. Language learning isn't usually about giant leaps. It's the sum of these small, manageable steps, these little practical skills you master along the way.
Like giving directions.
Precisely. Mastering something like this builds momentum, builds that overall fluency and confidence bit by bit.
Okay, great. So let's quickly recap the main takeaways from this deep dive. First, simple language. Use those basic verbs. Go, turn, walk.
Right. Keep it clear.
Second, when you say go straight, don't just leave it there. Add details, distance, time, go straight for 2 blocks, walk for 5 minutes.
Give context.
Third, use landmarks. You'll see a big park on your left. Makes it visual.
Anchors the directions. Yeah.
Fourth, use those handy location phrases. Next to, across from, behind.
Defines the relationships.
And fifth, maybe most importantly, practice. Role play with a friend. Get comfortable with it.
Definitely. Practice makes, well, not perfect maybe, but definitely more confident. These are all really practical things you can start doing, like today.
Yeah, breaking it down makes it feel much less daunting.
Totally.
And for you, our listener, focusing on efficient learning, these tips are designed to give you a quick boost in both your practical skills and your confidence using English.
Absolutely. And I genuinely encourage you, maybe later today, just try it out, even just mentally. Think about how you direct someone from where you are now to, say, the nearest coffee shop.
Just run through it in your head.
Yeah. Even that little mental exercise helps solidify it.
Okay, so here's a final thought to leave you with. How might getting comfortable, getting confident, giving directions in English actually open up other doors? Maybe new interactions, new connections when you travel, or even just in your own community.
That's interesting. And maybe think about what other seemingly small communication skills could have a surprisingly big impact on your daily life and ultimately your confidence. Something to chew on.